Let's talk mantra, answer some juicy questions people often shy away from asking, and learn a whole lot along the way. Am I allowed to practice this, or is it cultural appropriation? Does mantra or salutations increase the deity's power? Do I really need a course or a teacher? Can I just research or learn from YouTube and free videos? We are Bhairav and Bhairavi from Siddha Dharma, the only living Siddha Tantra tradition of Himalaya. We created Siddha Tantra arts to meet and enable spiritual seekers from all around the world to learn and practice the refined tantras of the Mahasiddha gurus and Dakinis. We have Dak and Dakini essence in our teachings, and we are building towards making seekers eligible for the authentic Vajrayogini Tantra. So today we will spend some time with you all to answer questions about mantra. And a while ago, when we launched our course, Mantra Yoga and Chanting Foundations, we sent emails to people asking them what questions they had about mantra. And we've been screening social media comments and messages and things that have come up in previous courses and our travels. Do let us know what you think about these questions and answers. Here we go. I do affirmations that I learned from a teacher, and we call them mantras. Are they the same thing? Well, we love this question because so many people meet mantra through affirmations first, actually.
And an affirmation and a mantra can look the same from the outside. You repeat something again and again, but they work in completely different direction. An affirmation is a statement about yourself or about a situation. I am calm, I am worthy, I am abundant. An affirmation speaks to your mind in your own language, and it works by convincing you of something, that repeating it until you start believing it. So you're saying something that isn't quite true yet, and hoping that if you repeat it enough, the mind will believe it, and that will bring change. That's the point. It points towards a real goal. It reaches for something far away. But a mantra doesn't reach for anything. Well, it might, but not in general. A mantra works underneath the mind through sound itself. And a mantra doesn't ask you to believe anything at all. You can chant with all the doubt sitting right there in your chest and in your head, and it still works on you. Just like how the sun warms you whether you believe in the sun or not. And in Tantra, the sound vibration is the thing itself. Also, you are not asking to become calm, you are sounding the syllable that already carries that reality and tuning yourself to it. So nothing is missing, nothing is being requested. You are not talking to the divine, you are sounding as it. So an affirmation tries to convince the mind, and a mantra changes the one who is speaking. And an affirmation is trying to change your thoughts, while the mantra is tuning your whole instrument, the vessel, the body, the breath, the being, and at a level subtler than the thought. And both have their own place. Just know that when you chant a real mantra, something more than positive thinking is happening.
Okay, the next question. Am I allowed to practice this, or is it cultural appropriation? So should I take this one, or should you take this one? Should I do it? Okay. So, well, when we think about this question, you are a free being, first of all. If you feel a pull towards something, no matter the physical skin, mask, or the language you speak, a heart connection is supreme and beyond all of that. But yeah, You can do your due diligence in choosing who you are learning from. In fact, even native Hindi or Sanskrit speakers should actually do this as well. Trace the teacher's lineage and see where it actually leads. And we do know that it's difficult. We see many people make extravagant so-called lineage trees that make them sort of perhaps look like very well-versed practitioners to the untrained eye. But when you actually inspect it, the people that they refer to have actually nothing to do with Tantra most of the time, or are not even a reliable source to begin with. So yeah, perhaps we will make a video on that one day, though it becomes a bit focused on dissing, and we don't really have time for that. We have other things to do. But yes, we know it can be hard. Another thing is also to learn and practice for the sake of practicing and developing. So not with the aim to hoard information and then sell it or teach it, or, unless you have specifically actually been trained and told by the lineage to teach, asked to teach by the lineage. So there are many souls all around the world who are beginning to hear the tune of the sublime. No race, no creed, or anything else has the power to stop that. That's what we're trying to say here. At least in Siddha Dharma, we do not work with man-made rules in that sense. We do work with natural happenings and systems. We work with the web of life and creation. And within that, we speak about eligibility and also the level of attunement to something. What matches you to a reality or to a practice. That is what we are working to build within the people that we are in contact with. And so we do have videos introducing the concept of eligibility. If you haven't heard that word before, we talk about it a lot. It's called Patrata in Sanskrit. In our Start Here playlist, I think we have the videos about it. And so let's see if we can link it here for you to see somewhere here. Next question. Does pronunciation matter?
Well, yes, it does matter. And do not let that scare you out of starting. Sanskrit was shaped around sound very precisely, where the tongue touches, how the breath moves, and all of it steers the vibration to a certain place in you. So, saying a mantra a little off in the beginning will not harm you. It simply doesn't land as fully. It will still benefit, but it will not land as full. And as you refine the sound, it goes deeper and cleaner. So, start with sincerity, and that gets you in the door. Then refine, and that takes you further in. And this is one of the reasons we use Sanskrit and do not simply translate everything away, because the sound themselves are doing the work letter by letter. It is also another reason why we spend real time on the Varnamala, the alphabets of sound in our teaching, so that when you chant, you are chanting on a real foundation and not just copying what you think you heard. And of course, beyond the sound, the spoken intoned sound, the one that comes out of the mouth, which is Vaikhari, the gross sound, there lies more subtler dimensions to mantra. And mastering those subtler aspects often overcome pronunciation issues. So even if one is not pronouncing it correctly and one has learned from the right person, then by attuning oneself to the subtler aspects of the speech, one can overcome a lot of things that a mispronunciation might bring in for other practitioners. So make sure that you learn from a good person who knows it.
Do I need to understand the meaning for it to work? Well, it does help to know the meaning, but it's not really the whole story. Knowing what you are saying keeps you connected for sure, but the sound itself carries its own charge as well. So it's like picture like a baby settling at a mother's tone before it knows any of the word that the mother is saying or the parent is saying. Next question is, I don't understand Sanskrit. Do I need to understand it or the meaning for the mantra to work? So it's a little bit similar to the first one.
Yes, and this is an important one. And yes, it has two sides, so to say. The sound itself works. Sanskrit is built around sound in a refined way, and the letters themselves are connected to points in the body, in the breath. So, when you form the sound correctly, then something already happens even before your mind understands a single word. So, no, you do not need to be a Sanskrit scholar to begin, and you should not let that stop you. But it would be wrong to leave it there, as if mantra is only vibration and the meaning or the word do not matter. Knowing what you are chanting, knowing what you are invoking, and holding the intention, and that bhav, the emotive aspect of it, while you chant, all of that is important, and they deepen the practice and helps you keep your practice alive. And otherwise, it becomes an empty mechanical repetition. You know, the sound is the foundation, and the understanding, the feeling, the intention, the visualization, and the connections around it, that web of tantra, is what completes it and also helps you come closer to the source of mantra itself. And in our tradition, there is also the transmission. Who gave you the mantra and the living current behind it? And that carries meaning even far beyond the dictionary meaning of the word. Meanings that get revealed as teachings on the spiritual path in an embodied way. So begin with sound, yes, and let the meaning and the bhav grow alongside it. And then the two together are the real thing. So, with all that being said, so instead of focusing too much investment and time on becoming fluent in Sanskrit or a Sanskrit scholar, it is best to learn under the guidance of the one who is giving you the mantra, and let the revelation and the understanding come through it, from it. Saying that, one also needs to add that there are a class of mantras called Shabar mantra, and this is an ingenuity of a great Mahasiddha of our tradition, Mahasiddha Matsyendra Nathji, and it is his compassion that there are mantras, Shabar mantras, in vernacular languages, local languages, blend of Hindi, Sanskrit, blend of local dialect and Sanskrit. So there is a system to it. It's not like anybody can make a mantra. No, it is a spiritual current that flows, and in that current, one container is created by someone adept, a siddha, and wise in that. So, based on time, place, and circumstances of today, perhaps we will have a blend of English and Sanskrit. We may reveal something like that, and we'll see how it goes in the mantra course.
So the next question is, does mantra or salutations increase the deity's power? And this is actually like we've had this question come and go before, so it's a beautiful question. And so who's answering it, you or me? So no is the answer. The deity does not need your mantra in order to be full of Shakti and powerful. The deity is already whole. So, what your salutation or your mantra does is to open and strengthen the channel between you and that Shakti and that force and that realm. So, think of it less as charging the deity and more as tuning your own receiver and building a real living relationship. So, with that said, in the living traditions, there is also a sense of that devotion that feeds that spiritual current and relationship, where many sincere hearts call, the presence becomes more available, more responsive, and more here manifested in the reality that you are living in or that the people are living in. So the deity's own power stays whole either way and is always there. What grows is how much of it can reach you, move through you, and also pour into the real world or the reality. The more refined and connected the mantra, the wider that opening becomes. So this is exactly where lineage and transmission matter, because a mantra received through a living current, spiritual current, carries far more than one picked up just like off a page or something where there is no real connection with the Shakti or the current. The next question is, what are the most common mistakes people make when starting out? And this is actually a little bit of a compilation that we did out of things that we have seen that we're thinking can be good for you all to just know. So there are quite many of them, but to name a few, well, with mantra practice, not starting at all is one thing that, is a big obstacle and a mistake. Letting fear and prejudice take over, and that could be anything. For example, not dedicating time and space for your mantra practice, that is also something. Lack of direction or lack of a good teacher are also common mistakes that hinders. Or another one is thinking that there is not much more to it than just repeating a mantra, because many people do that they think that there's not much to it, or they think that, okay, this is just a word, I'm going to repeat it, and then there is nothing else to mantras or the world of mantras. So that is also a mistake, common one. And what that does is that one doesn't further one's practice. It just stops there and one just becomes like a machine chanting it can be for years and years, like 12 years, 20 years. Yeah. Another common mistake, is only learning from the most accessible teacher, like the one that is closest to you, a friend, or the closest yoga place, or whatever that is around you. And then another mistake can also be only learning by yourself, learning on your own, without a teacher, without somebody who guides you, without somebody who actually directs you or gives direction of how to chant the mantra. And then another common mistake, is to start to teach or using it in the outside world immediately before the mantra has matured inside. That also needs guidance so that one understands when it's the time for that. And then another common mistake that people often make is that they shy away from mantras or words that are difficult instead of actually approaching them. And another thing is that now that various mantras from different traditions and that are actually could be made for various stages, various people, they are super accessible nowadays. So another pitfall is to just hoard lots of them or just chant them here and there without having proper foundation or instruction or connection or even the alignment to the lineage or the source of that specific mantra. So hoarding kind of dilutes and numbs the palate of the practitioner and makes it actually harder to connect to the subtle Shakti of the mantras. And probably the most common mistake, or the mistake that sort of makes it difficult, is that underneath all of these other mentioned things, not having an actual tradition with a living spiritual current behind the mantra would probably be like the biggest common mistake when one is wanting to deepen one's mantra practice. Moving on to the next question on our list. The name of the course says Foundations. What they're referring to is our next course, which is called Mantra, Yoga, and Chanting Foundations. And what they're writing is that I've already chanted for years and have japa practice. So we're assuming that this comes from you who have already had a japa practice, mantra sadhana practice, and who has been chanting for years, for example. And then you are wondering whether a course called Foundations maybe has anything left to offer. So, yeah, what do we say about that? What do we think about that? Because it is called Foundations.
Well, actually, then this course will be very valuable for your current practice if you have done practice already for a while. And of course, years of chanting is not nothing. It is a discipline, a devotion, a practice, and something cared for. And everything you have built is yours to keep. Yes, we know that the title of the course, this Mantra Yoga foundation course that we're launching, does have the word foundation. But our foundations are much vaster and more precise than one might think. We compare foundations with very advanced practices of Siddha Dharma tradition and the way in which we guide practitioners who are not born in this world. The wisdom is embodied and thus can be expressed and taught and transmitted in a potent way. So, this is not a course that's asking you to set your practice aside and start over. No. If you already have some perfected form of practice, then you will build upon it further from that level. Where there is room for improvement, we will catch that and find ways for you to improve on it. So, this course is built to take the practice and the level you already have and strengthen it, deepen it, and give it a firmer root from the Siddha Tantra gaze. So, it is a chance for you to also reboot and refresh your idea and sense and sensibility and adeptness in mantra sadhana.
Okay, the next question, and you all can write in the comments if you can connect with this or relate to this. The question goes, I've had issues with pronunciation and was even bullied about it. So I'm shy about starting to chant, and then a question mark. So for that, we would probably say that have a relationship with your teacher. If you join a course, tell them about this previous experiences so that they can or we can cater for that. If chanting, for example, alongside other people in group format is too triggering, then practicing alone or only with the teachers would probably work best until you feel confident enough. And we actually have developed an app for practicing alone as well, especially with pronunciation. Because in a group setting, even though that is nice for creating an auspicious container, the real nitty gritty practice is actually in the alone moments and in various moments throughout one's day. So, trying to pick times when your nervous system is feeling calmer, your environment is feeling safe and comfortable, those things are very good to do. Giving like a stage exposure of it. And in the beginning, perhaps if you have a favorite song, for example, play that in the background or make yourself some comfort food waiting for you. That can also be like a good thing. And try to start with the practices. And for now, the app that I was talking about, it's called Matri Mantra that we have actually developed, which we have, and it is starting in beta version for our mantra course participants. So, but it will open up to the public later on as well with refinements. The next question is, can I just chant mantras anywhere and at any time I want?
Well, the answer is yes and no. There are mantras that one can chant everywhere, and there are mantras one should not chant everywhere, like in the bathroom or in certain situations. And this is where a whole world opens up, because in Tantra there are various ways and techniques and refinements, tactics and etiquettes. And that is how the Tantra can work with or hack the web of beautiful Maya, Matrika, and the way of life. And it is time tested. And depending on the mantra and the practice, there can be a time for it, morning, evening, nights, etc. There can be what you prepare before or during sitting arrangement and such, whether it is done outside or inside, alone or with others, the color of your clothing, the embellishments, the type of offerings, the number of chants, the way of chanting, the intention, the sitting position,
Yes.
the accompanying mudras,
Mm.
the accompanying pranayam or yogasanas, accompanying tantra tools and items, or even type of food intake and timing for that, or other rituals that are needed for that mantra chant. And in Siddha Tantra, the advanced practices, we have a multitude of mantras that one can chant in all situations of life for various purposes. And these are the things that come or are taught with training and maturity and experience, with gained eligibility, and with what is actually necessary for the practitioner in the current time, place, and circumstance. And then there are mantras that can be chanted just with devotion as a salutation, simply because one likes them, more like songs of bhakti and love. And many mantras in the mainstream are not really meant for that, but they are still done like that. So the best is when a good teacher who knows what they are doing, the teacher, then that teacher who knows what they are doing gives you the mantra and gives you a specific instruction for it, then do that. Whether that is that chant this one freely or do it like this or that with whatever etiquettes. So do that.
Okay, so the next question is, do I really need a course or a teacher? Can I just research or learn from YouTube and free videos? Well, one can learn a lot, a whole deal for free. And we ourselves actually try to contribute to that, because an interest and aptitude and like a yearning for learning is a great thing. And free videos are wonderful for getting the tune into your ears, perhaps, if it's a good tune, and then taking your first steps after that. But there is a ceiling to what a gathered text or video can do, and sometimes it's actually more confusing than helping. So a video, for example, cannot hear your pronunciation, cannot give guidance on it, cannot give personal feedback, which is necessary for the mantra sadhana practice. It cannot feel or know where you're stuck or adjust the practices for you. And also, spiritual practices are not really like learning, not only like learning guitar or a piano or an instrument on your own, because those kind of things, tangible things, you can learn on your own by reading a book or watching a YouTube clip of someone who is better than you and is teaching whatever the next steps that it is that you need to be learning. And obviously, that might not be the way that an institution or an orchestra would want you to play, but you'll be able to like pick up the instrument and play, and perhaps it will be even better, who knows. But mantra, tantra, and the spiritual realms, they're not only something gross, physical, and tangible. It's not only consisting of those things. And they are way more intimate, way more personal, and sort of involving one's whole existence in them. And if one wants to practice mantras as a spiritual practitioner, then one needs to be connected to a teacher who holds that subtle current, the transmission that only passes inside a real relationship and connection between a teacher and a student. So yes, one can feel real transmission across online sphere as well, or in a satsang gathering, for example. It can be extremely powerful. We ourselves do this, and it does work. That is why we usually say that for a person that is interested in Siddha Tantra, one of the best things is actually to dwell and delve into all of the various things that we offer. And there is hours of material, articles, and even open satsangs that we offer for free. Then it is just about how deep you are wanting to go, actually, and that's in your hands. Because a general YouTube video is talking to a general public, sort of. It can have transmission if there is a spiritual current behind it, but it is different to have the teacher's full focus and connection on you or a specific group fully. And the back and forth that then happens with you and the teacher, it is a subtle communication and refinement, which is like more than a one-way street, in the moment, live. So yes, use everything free, fully, you can do that. Chant, begin, fall in love with it. And then when you feel the pull to go past that, what we call surface and non-directional, that is the moment that a course and a teacher stop being optional and become necessary. If you feel a connection with us, how we talk or teach or speak, do share in the comments. We'd love to connect with you. And any other questions that come up, if you are new to us, find links in the description on how to start and get to know more about Tantra, Mantra, Siddhas, Dakinis, practices, and authentic spiritual practices and life. And since you came here to learn about mantra and are resonating with this, perhaps feeling a pull and connection, a feeling that there is more, we do hope that as many of you as possible come and join us in the mantra course that is starting the 25th of July, this Saturday. So it is an 8-week course, and where we go right to the foundation of it all, sacred sound itself, pronunciation, the breath, and the inner attitude and alignment that lets a mantra truly come alive in you. You deepen your understanding of what mantra is and how it actually works on you. And you also get to practice with our Matri Mantra app that we mentioned before. So alongside we will have various weekly practices and wisdom videos to dive into each week before the live sessions as well. And the live sessions are held on Google Meet. So one can rewatch the live sessions also if one has a difficult schedule and can't make it to the live sessions. And we will give you personal guidance and also adjust practices so that it fits your current life, lifestyle, and also level. And it is very valuable, and you will have a good mantra sadhana spiritual practice after these 2 months together. There is a soft deadline 1 week into the course, and we hold our courses live so that we have that connection with each one who is joining. That is when true transmission and deeper subtle learning happens, even beyond the world of mantra only. Sometimes it is good to just take the chance. We thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we hope it gave you some perspective and valuable information and perhaps sparked further curiosity.